I can honestly 100% say that I sell more websites because of your song than any other advertising that I do.
Wow. Hey, man. Well, welcome to the podcast. This is Money, Music, and Marketing. And today I have the one and only Brett Thomas, owner, founder, CEO of Rhino Web Studios. How we doing today, Brett?
Man, we're doing fantastic. If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Expect lots of jokes like that today, folks. Lots of jokes like that. Awesome, Brett. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Your company, Rhino Web Studios, you guys are a web development company. That's your forte, as well as some other offerings and services. Can you tell me a little bit about? Let's talk about your clients and like what you primarily do for your clients.
Well, my clients can be anybody that has a business, anybody that wants exposure for their business. Most of the people that call, you wouldn't believe, but most of the people that call already have a website. I'd say 90% of the people that call already have a website, and there's a problem with the website. So it's either the company that they're dealing with isn't answering their phone or helping them. And that's a big issue in our industry, and I'm going to touch on that in a minute. Or they did it themselves, and they can't go any further because it's kind of a specialized, like trying to fix your own car if you're not a mechanic.
Right.
You know, you can go on YouTube and look up videos on how to do it, but it's not even worth it. You get a professional to do it. Or they have an old website. They have a great website. At one time it was great, but now it's 5, 6, 7 years old, and their competitors have new websites with videos and stuff. And so they'll in the New Orleans area, if they Google New Orleans web design, Rhino Web Studios comes up on the very top. And so we get our phone rings every day, and that's what we're really good at, is getting our clients to show up on the top of Google. And
awesome.
Before we could sell that service, we had to do it for ourselves first, because why would you trust anybody that says they can do it for you if they can't do it for themselves? So
absolutely.
And that's primarily what we do. We get our client. We don't sell websites. You know, we build websites, but that's not what we sell. If that makes any sense.
Of course.
We sell.
You sell the result.
Getting your phone to ring. Mm-hmm. We sell getting your bank account higher.
Cha-ching.
We sell getting you more sales.
Right.
And the website's just a tool of it. But some people are using the wrong tool. You know, if you want to hammer a nail and you wouldn't pull a saw out of your or a wrench out of your tool chest, you know, some people would. They'd take a wrench and knock it, you know, and will it get the nail in? You know, maybe it'll bend it up a little bit, but you got to use the right tool for the job, and that's exactly what we have at Rhino Web. We use the right tools to not only build a beautiful website, but to get that site to show up on the top of the search engines.
Absolutely. So what does it take for someone to be number one on Google? What does it take?
There's about 60 different things that you have to do to make sure that you're to beat your competition. Now, sometimes we'll do a website for a type of company that they may only have 4 or 5 of in the area. And I'll look and I'll say, oh, your competition isn't doing much. And those are the easy ones to get up to the top of the search engine for their city.
You say 4 or 5, like like brick and mortar locations or something?
Well, I'm talking like there might be only 4 or 5 recording studios.
Got you.
In New Orleans.
Competition-wise.
Right.
Okay, got you, yeah.
Right, competition-wise, right. Mm-hmm. But if, say, a lawyer wants a website, there's 1,000 lawyers in the New Orleans area, and so that's a little bit trickier, right?
Right.
So we use tools to do this. We use tools like SEMrush. Have you ever heard of SEMrush before?
No, I have not.
So SEMrush is a third-party social, search engine marketing company, SEM Rush, search engine marketing. And so you can put your website in the SEMrush, and then you could put in your competition's websites. And I don't know how it does it, but it pulls up, this is what your competition is doing to beat you. This is what you have to do to beat your competition. And it kind of like, it's like a cheat sheet. But even better than that, so not only do we use SEMrush, and SEMrush also helps you with backlinks. It tells you where your backlinks are. Do you know what backlinks are?
Yeah, absolutely. All the things that are pointing back to your website, right?
Links that are pointing back to your website, correct. So you have to have backlinks, but not just any backlinks. You have to have backlinks from websites with domain authority, like news websites, right? I'll get to
Ones
that in a
that
second
Google
too.
say, that's
So-
legit. You didn't just make that website for yourself. That's an actual legit publication.
Right. Okay. For example, if we were going to do a backlinks campaign for Combined Habits, we would write press releases, but not about Combined Habits. We would write press releases about songwriting. We would do press releases about how to get your song on the radio, or how to write a song. Just things about your type of industry, but not about Combined Habits. Because Google doesn't want to see ads. They don't want to see, you're selling something. They want to see that you are providing information, education, right?
Gotcha.
So you write a press release. The press release goes out to thousands and thousands of news organizations, and some of those news organizations will pick that press release up and put it on their website. And when they do that, you now have a backlink from a news website, which generally holds higher domain authority and will help you out with SEO. That's just one of the many, many things that we do at Rhino Web Studios. The other thing that we do is we use a plugin called Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T. So Yoast is, imagine you're driving down the street and your car starts making a funny noise, right? And you take it to the mechanic. The mechanic takes this little computer thing and plugs it in to your car, and it throws out a bunch of error codes, which tells the mechanic, this is what's broken on your car and this is what we have to fix. Well, that's what Yoast is. Yoast is, it's actually called a plugin. You plug it into your website, and it gives you just a list of everything on your website that's either broken or not configured correctly for search engine optimization. So once again, kind of like SEMrush, it's a cheat sheet, and then we go in there, and it might take us an hour or two per page to make that website correct in the search engines, for the search engines, right? And some of the sites that we deal with, have 20, 30, 40. I got one site I'm working on right now is 90-something pages that we have to do that. So I guess that's the difference between a good web design company and a web design company that is just putting out a basic product. So
you're really getting in the nitty-gritty.
All right. If you were to hire us to do a full package, a web design SEO package, we would use SEMrush, we would use Yoast, we'd use the professional version of Yoast, which is even more stuff that we can do. And I only do that when we have a client that has a lot of competition. So if we got a client that there's 5 or 6 of that type of business in the area, you don't really need to do that. But if you got something like an insurance company or an attorney or restaurant or somewhere, there's a lot of them. That's where we shine.
I love that. I love that. So let's do a real world exercise. If I hired Rhino Web Studios to fully optimize my website and make me rank #1 on Google, how would you approach it?
Well, the first thing I would say is rank #1 for what? For what search terms? Because saying you want to be on the top of the search engines for what? Pizza? For what search terms do you want to come up for? All right. So let's ask you. You have combinedhabits.com, which we built for you recently.
We sure did.
What search term do you want your people to be able to type in to come up your site to come up on the top of the search engines.
Let's start with radio jingle or jingle, one or the other.
Radio jingles.
one.
All right. So locally, so
Nationally.
you. All right. That's a whole different animal, right?
All right, let's start.
So-
Whatever example you want to run with. Let's talk
nationally
locally.
is nationally to do a national campaign like that. It's not cheap. You have
Big
to do
time,
a
big
pay-per-click campaign,
Okay.
or you have to open up offices in the cities that you want to show up in, which is the reason why I'm franchising it to
There you
every
go.
major city in the country. Right.
So let's talk locally then. Let's talk locally.
All right. So
San
radio
Diego.
jingles. Which city are you in?
San Diego, California.
All right.
This is going to be fun.
Let's see. Oh, we want to look it up in Google, not in Bing. All right. So let's look this up for you.
Okay.
All right. All right. So it appears that nobody has a Google Maps, a Google business page with the word radio jingle. Let's see. Commercial jingles, San Diego.
So the market's wide open for me, is what you're saying. Google wise.
Mr. Jingle's Christmas trees comes up. Commercial business slogans, jingle bulbs.
Jingle bells.
I got JCB music. Combined habits comes up in here. Epicenter advertising.
Okay.
So you show up on here, but you could be higher.
Yeah.
And the reason you're not as high as some of these other ones. Oh, this would be very easy.
Yeah.
Is the one that has the most reviews is the Mighty Untouchables. Are you familiar with them? So they only have 14 reviews. Combined Habits at this point, I know we just started with the website now, has no reviews yet. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to wait, I got to sign in first. I'm going to write a review for you. All right?
Hey.
And so what you need to do is contact every client. You got to contact Armando LeDuc with LeDuc Entertainment. You got to contact the King. You got to contact all of your clients, and you say, "Hey, I need a little bit of help. I need you to write a review for me on Google." And if you do that consistently for the next couple of months, you'll be #1 for commercial jingles in San Diego. So that's the only thing I'm seeing that you're missing right now is you don't have any reviews. And they don't come naturally. Nobody's just going to say, "Oh, I think I'm going to write a review." You have to ask. You have to go and send an email or a phone call. I like calling and saying, "Hey, how you doing, man? I'm just checking up on your website. How's everything going?" "Oh, everything's good. Can I ask you a favor?" It would mean a lot to me if you could write me a 5-star review about our service. And who's going to say no to that if you're doing a good job?
For sure.
Right?
Absolutely. Okay, so start with the reviews, get the reviews up, because obviously that's heavily weighted with Google. What would be the next step? I mean, that would probably shoot me up,
The
obviously, a couple spots.
What's that?
That might shoot me up a couple spots.
Well, that's what I would recommend to you right now, because there's not a lot of people that are optimizing that search term, commercial jingles San Diego, or let's see, business jingles San Diego. All right, so the only thing that comes up when I put in business jingles is Mr. Jingle's Christmas trees.
Right.
All right, so in your Google business, you have to go in there and type in the keyword business jingles, commercial jingles, radio jingles, music jingles. You have to go in there and optimize your Google business. So that's what I would, if you were calling me right now and saying, Brett, I need to come up in the top of the search engines, that's the first step. The second step is to hire us to do an SEO campaign where we're going to go through every page of your website and put in a premium Yoast plugin and then optimize each page professionally. I don't really think you need that at this point because we did a really good job with the content on your site, and you don't really have a lot of competition. So you don't need that at this moment. If I were you, the one thing that you need to work on is getting reviews for your Google business page.
Okay.
That's it.
Awesome. Easy. That's easy. I love it. And for those watching, you should do the same for yourself. Make sure you're reaching out, hitting people up and get those Google reviews up. And honestly, I mean, that's huge. I mean, reviews is everything today, right? Like it's like the best form of credibility because as long as it's on the right platform,
that's what everybody does.
People believe it,
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. Look, we were in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for Thanksgiving, and we come down the mountain and go out to eat, and we'd stand in front of a restaurant and pull up our phone and go, oh, they only got 3.5 stars. Next. And we only ate at restaurants that had like 4.8 or higher, that had a lot of really good reviews. And
cool.
That's what people are doing nowadays. People are using the tools that are on their fingertips, right?
Seriously.
And I get that a lot too. I get people that call me and say, hey, we want to go with you. We choose to go with Rhino Web because we saw your reviews and you've been doing this for 20-something years. And over the last 20-something years, we've racked up a lot of reviews, a lot of really good reviews. So
absolutely.
I think we have a 4.9 rating. In 21 years, I got one negative review, and it wasn't even a real customer.
Right. And then, so is there anything you can do about those negative reviews that aren't legitimate?
Not really. Google will, from time to time, they'll prune reviews that don't look legitimate. Like if you have a restaurant and somebody gave you, if you have a restaurant in New Orleans and somebody gave you a negative review from London, England,
right,
or something like that, I've found. But Google doesn't really do a great job because we have a lot of legitimate reviews, and every now and then they'll delete them and they'll say, well, this review didn't look legitimate. So they try, but they don't do a very good job.
They say this review is not legitimate. We were listening to your phone call and you asked this guy to give you a review, so we took it down.
Well, you can ask someone, a legitimate customer, to give you a review.
Yeah.
I wouldn't send out a mass email through Gmail doing that because that might look suspicious. Also, with reviews, you don't want to ask 100 people at one time and then get a whole bunch of reviews at one time because that also looks suspicious. So what I tell my clients typically is send out one message a day. Make it a point. At the same time every day, make a phone call and ask one person to leave you a review. Mm-hmm. You think you can get one person to leave you a review? Just one person. And if you do that every day, and in fact, you can take the weekends off, but at the end of the month, you'll have 20 reviews.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of a year, what do you have? You'll have 240 reviews at the end of the year.
Right.
And if you have that many 5-star reviews, you're automatically going to come up on the top of search engine.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to do good.
For sure. Have you seen...
Especially if your website's built correctly and you use... So after this phone call, you and I need to set up a meeting to optimize your Google business listing.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking here, at least you have one, right? But all I'm seeing here as far as the keywords, it just says video production service.
Yeah, so
if you were to
it was
change
allowing
that,
me to enter other keywords, but it only let me choose one like business category, and my business categories are never available in the list that they give. So
Okay.
they
So
make it
what you can
tough
do
like
is
that.
on your you can write articles. You can write posts in your Google business. So in the post, the title of a post should be commercial business jingles. Another post could be about business jingles, commercial jingles, songs for your business. Just whatever you can think of that
Right.
people would type in. And if you're really you do a lot of good thinking and working on what you write in that Google business profile, that's the way you're going to get to the top of the search engine. That's the easiest way.
Okay, that makes sense. Very cool.
And we typically I concentrate on Google because that's about 85% of all the searches are done on Google nowadays. So that's what I'm really concentrating on. If you just concentrate on Google, that your phone should ring off the hook if you do a good job.
Right, and I'm assuming that you guys went through this process a while back for yourselves, and are you consistently
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
adding backlinks?
I mean,
Or are you still
I
doing
wasn't-
backlinks?
So backlinks. Wait, you can't see me. Backlinks, reviews, Yoast, and SEMrush. If you use those 4 things right there, and then you also 5 things. You want to write articles, and put those articles on your website as a blog. The more content you have on your website, relevant content. You don't want to write articles about how to make a pizza or how to fix your car. You want to write articles how to write a song. Educational articles. The more content you have on your website, the higher Google is going to rank you.
Right.
Let me see something right quick. Wow, you have a nice website.
Oh, do I? I had this. I hired
You do.
this guy.
Everybody go check out combinedhabits.com.
You
That's a
heard.
beautiful website we did for you. All right, so what I would do here is you have some real estate up in the menu area, and we need to put a button up there that says blog. And then once a month, once a week, write an article. Write an
Yeah.
article that's at least 350 words. And
Okay.
in that article, talk about, how to make money with your jingle, how to promote your jingle, how to write a jingle, how to, just write all kinds of different articles about making music.
Absolutely.
And those articles on your website are going to get indexed in Google, and the more content you have on your site, the higher authority that you're going to have. All right, so let's recap. SEMrush, Yoast, a blog.
Backlinks.
You want to have your Google business listing, reviews, and press releases. And those things right there, if you just did that right there, you'd have the number 1 music production company in San Diego. In fact, let me look that up. Let me look up music production. So yeah, I got to imagine you got a lot of competition.
In that general category, yes.
All right, so let me see what we got here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 that actually are doing what they need to do to show up in the Google business listing in the Google Maps. So that's not bad. If you beat half of them, you're still on page 1.
That's
Right?
true. That's true. So let me ask you
And
this:
then I'm
How
looking
do
at a
you-
lot of these. Let's see. Signature Sound Studio, they have 48 reviews.
I know those guys. I work with those guys a lot.
And then Studio West and the Recording Arts Center has 58 reviews. So if you got one review a day for the next year, you beat all of them.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. That's a great goal to have right there. I love that.
Okay.
That's awesome. So I was going to ask a quick question. So somebody starting a business, and a lot of businesses are started from home, and a lot of people work from home and things like that, and they want to have their Google listing and their business, but it forces you to put in an address, and then so like if you don't have a business address, it's just you put your address in, your house
Right.
pops up.
Right.
And then your house is being shown as the business listing. How do you
I
change
know,
that?
because
How
I
do you
did
get
that
rid
for
of
15 years. And let me
Yeah.
tell you what I found. I came up on the top of page one when I was working from home. And I got a lot of phone calls. And the people would say, okay, I want an appointment. And I would, every time I'd be like, well, let me come to you. But sometimes they want to come to my office. So that I'd say, all right, come on by. And I'm no slouch. My house is nice. And I have a big office in the front and nice computer set up. And it was a really nice looking office.
Right.
But I wasn't getting the sales. Like if I had 10 appointments, I might have closed 3, you know?
Right.
And one day I decided I was tired of being an amateur, and I was going to get an office. So I got an office. I got a little tiny office, and about 700 square feet. And immediately, like that, I almost tripled my income. You know,
Wow.
I was closing almost every deal. Okay,
Yeah.
not only I've been in business, 15 years at this point, and I did a good job. But now I had the office. I had the professional look. The perception is everything, right?
Right.
So at that point, I started closing almost every website sale that came my way. Every appointment, every sales call, I'd say I was closing 8 to 9 out of 10. And
Wow.
it all made the difference was having a nice office. So here we are. Here we are a few years later. And now I have a 3,000 square foot office.
Yes.
I'm actually renting space in my building. I bought a building, and I'm renting space in the building. It's just, and then the people that come in to the building for the other tenants in the building are like, oh, there's a web design company. And I'm making sales that way too. So it's
Right.
just a win-win-win.
Wow.
But you got to crawl before you walk. So my secondary advice to you would be to get a recording studio, get an office.
Yeah.
Get a small. It doesn't have to be big. Just something that's professional looking and clean, and it makes all the difference in the world in the perception and the way people think of you.
Yeah, I know it. Trust me, it's part of the plan for sure. I mean, I've always had a home recording studio, and I've always worked out of my home studio. And the thing that makes it tough with a music studio, because that's obviously a majority of what we do, it's like you need to, if it's going to be, it's like a considerable, you have a lot of things to consider. You have sound to consider, you got to do build out, you got to do soundproofing, sound treatment. And it's like, not only do I want the music studio, but I want a space for video editing, and I need a space for meetings and things like that. And so, I mean, obviously I'm setting my standard up there right away, but it's definitely in the plans. Definitely in the plans, ASAP. You know?
There is one more thing I want to talk about
Okay.
to the people that's watching this video. Is do you want to know the actual secret to success? You want to know the secret?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
secret. There's a documentary out called The Secret. I saw a long time ago.
Me too.
And that was kind of the start of my journey. And in this documentary, it talks about how if you visualize and you think of positive thoughts, and you're always positive, and you don't worry, and everything is positive, and you think about your goals every day, that the universe will magically manifest your success, and your goals will come true, and you'll be rich beyond your wildest dreams, right? So I believed it, And I started doing it. And lo and behold, it just started working. It was seemingly like magic.
Right.
But the problem is, how are you going to get people to believe in magic? How are you going to get people to believe in witchcraft and magically the heavens open up and give you everything that you think about? It doesn't work that way. It works, but that's not the secret. And when the time came that I started diving deeper into why this was working for me, and I realized why, the scientific reason why it works, that's when everything just opened up. And here it is. The reticular activating system. Mm-hmm. So the reticular activating system is a part of your brain. It's a little ball in the back area of your brain. And it is the focus flashlight for your life. All right. So, for example, if you're looking on a Facebook page and there's ads over here, and they got all kinds. They have 100 things on a Facebook page that you could look at, but you only can focus on one of them at a time, right? When you look at a computer screen or a website or a Facebook page, you focus at one thing at a time, and that's the reticular activating system, and it allows you to focus on things. Like what kind of car do you drive?
I drive an Acura MDX. It's SUV.
That's a cool car.
Yes.
Very cool.
I love it.
So let me ask you this. I already know the answer. When you bought that car, you all of a sudden started noticing it everywhere, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. And it's funny you say that because yes, I never saw them ever until the day I bought it. Actually.
Until you bought it, right? So that's the reticular activating system. Mm-hmm. It focuses on the things that you think are important. Now, you can't talk to the reticular activating system. It doesn't understand language. You can't say, all right, I'm going to focus on my business today, or I'm going to think positive today. And you can't talk to it. It's like a dog. You can't tell a dog to sit. You have to train the dog to sit. And how do you do that? With emotion, a little piece of dog food or a little treat or whatever. Sit. And so emotion and repetition and visualization. All right, that's the only way to talk to your reticular activating system. It's like it's programmed, and the only way to change that program is to visualize what your end goal is, and feel the feelings that you're going to feel. Close your eyes and feel the feelings that you're going to feel when you achieve your goals, and do that for 30 seconds to 60 seconds every day. Do it in the morning. Do it at night. Do it at least for 30 seconds a day. I mean, your success and your goals are worth 30 seconds a day, right? Mm-hmm. So close your eyes and visualize those things, and don't just think about them. Feel the feeling. Mm-hmm. And that's the secret, is the emotion. You have that emotion about what your goals are when you accomplish them, and then all of a sudden, just like you saw that car that you never saw before, but now it's all over the place, all of a sudden you're going to start noticing opportunities that you didn't see before. And you're going to notice things that are going to help you achieve those goals that were invisible to you before. Right? Because that's where your brain is now focusing on. Your reticular activating system is now focusing on those things that you're visualizing and feeling emotion over. You ever notice, and the last thing I'm going to say about it is, think about people that are not very successful in life. What's the one thing they have in common? They're all negative and negative emotional. They're always complaining and whining, and there's always something wrong, and the man's out to get them, or society is doing this to them or whatever. And they're absolutely right.
Right.
Because there's good and bad everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. There is good and bad all over the damn place. But what you focus on is what your life is going to become. So if you focus on, man, this isn't fair, life isn't fair, that's what life is not going to be fair. Because that's your reticular activating system is going to seek out examples of confirmation bias. It's gonna
Right.
look for reasons why life isn't fair instead of looking for reasons why life is awesome.
Right, exactly. So it's like the autofocus on the camera. It's going to be searching for that negative thing, and it's going to lock onto it because that's what you're telling.
Oh,
it
you
to
see,
focus
man,
on.
you
It's
see, you see.
Right.
I told you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely.
that's the one thing and being in business and helping business owners for the last 20 years, the one thing that I notice is what type of business owners are successful and what type of people are unsuccessful. And it's always the same. The unsuccessful ones are the ones that are always complaining and whining and bitching about their life. And the ones that are successful are always the ones that have great attitude, and they're always focused on the good. They're focused on their goal. It's almost like, man, you're going a little bit crazy here, right? Yeah. There are some people that are so focused on their success that they seem crazy. They seem obsessed about it. But at the end of the day, who do you think is happier?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Those people that are making their goals come true.
Absolutely. So what do you say about the person who is definitely always positive, not a complainer, doesn't focus on the negative, focuses on their goals, yet still really have a hard time reaching them?
I would say they have to. I know where you are because I did that. I did the same thing for the longest time when I was working from home. So those are the people that aren't taking action.
Right.
Those are the people that are like, "Hey, I'm focused on my goal. I'm focused on my goal," but then they're not committed 100%. So when those opportunities arrive, when those opportunities present themselves, they're not taking action to jump on that opportunity.
Right.
So that's the last step in using the reticular activating system. So you not only have to think positive thoughts and you have to think about your goals and feel the emotion. The emotion is the most important thing because that's the only thing that your reticular activating system understands is the emotion, right? So once you start feeling that emotion and you start seeing the opportunities, the last step is to jump on them and take action.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love how that is framed because, I mean, I know about The Secret. I watched that a long time ago, and I've used that law of attraction in a lot of different ways in my life. And then I've also always noticed that reticular activating system that you're speaking of. Never known the name of it, but I've always noticed that even when I was a kid, where I had never seen something, or even like a word, even something as simple as a word or a name of something. It's like, oh, you've never heard of that? Like you say, someone tells you about somebody and they're like, oh, I've never heard of that. You're like, you've never heard of that? And you're like, yeah. And then like the next day you hear 10 people say it.
Right.
And it's like
they were saying it before, you just didn't.
Right.
Have you ever been at a party where there was a whole bunch of people there talking? There was a whole bunch of people talking, and all of a sudden you hear Brandon, and you're like, boom! As soon as you hear your name, that's the reticular activating system. It focuses on your name. Right? You can hear your name in a crowd, right? But you couldn't tell me one thing that everybody else said before that.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's
so understanding
that's how it works.
that as a tool on an everyday basis and really like locking in on that is I'm sure very, very powerful.
So it does. It takes practice, like with anything else. You have to practice it, and you have to. And here's the other thing, I hear this all the time. Man, you're really disciplined to be able to. I mean, look at me. I'm not that disciplined. I still eat too much. All right, I don't focus on my weight as much as my business. I probably need to change that this coming year. But how the hell did I lose my train of thought?
People say that you're disciplined.
Oh, all right. So people say all the time, "Oh man, you're disciplined with your business. You're disciplined with the same time every day in your meditation and stuff like that." Well, discipline. You only have to be disciplined a few times, maybe a week. You do the same thing over and over for about 7 days, and then you no longer need discipline because it becomes a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you don't have to. I'm not disciplined anymore. It's just a habit. This is part of this is what we do now.
Right.
This is what we do. Every morning when I wake up, I'm taking a shower, close my eyes. This is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to sell a website today. I'm going to accomplish this week, and I visualize and I feel that emotion, and I hear the people cheering me on in the background. Yeah. I know it sounds kind of hokey, but damn it, if it works, do it.
Man, I mean, I hear. So would you equate this with meditation? Because I hear successful people talk about it all the time, and it's part of their morning routine, et cetera. And so I'm wondering,
this is meditation.
Okay, because is there a difference between meditation and visualization, or is it kind of blurred the lines a little bit?
Well, some people meditate and they completely clear their mind of everything, right, and they just focus on their breathing, right?
Right.
That's another form of meditation. But that's not accomplishing anything with your reticular activating system. The way that I meditate is I clear my mind of everything, and then I see myself where I'm at in 5 years, where I'm at in 3 months. What do I want to accomplish? I want to open up a franchise in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's the next city over. I want a franchise in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then all of a sudden, like magic, I start finding people that are looking for business opportunities in Baton Rouge. And I think I have somebody. I think by the end of this year, I'm going to have a new franchise in Baton Rouge.
That's amazing. It works, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say it right now. I'm going to adopt that today.
Yeah, so I'm going to send you some links that if people are interested in using this reticular activating system, just click on the links in the bottom of the description of this podcast.
Yeah,
and I'm going to send some over to you.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description. Insert link below. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about, that was great though, Brett. That was awesome. Let's talk about the ways that you are currently marketing your business, Rhino Web. What are you guys doing exactly?
Well, I had you guys make me a really awesome jingle.
Did you?
And in fact, you did 2 of them for me, and I got commercials running every day on the radio. So you made me 60-second songs. Rhino Web Studios. You'll never need another web designer again. Right?
Damn.
You guys kicked ass on that. So,
thanks.
So the phone rings from people that say, "Hey, I heard you on the radio." But even more impressive is some days where I'm like, maybe I have an appointment that canceled, or if I'm in a part of town and I got an hour or 2 to kill, I'll start walking into businesses and handing out my business cards to people and introduce myself. And I noticed over the last few months that I'll walk into a place and I'll say, "Hi, my name's Brett. Here's my card. I'm with a company called Rhino Web Studio." "Oh yeah, I hear commercials. Rhino Web." Or, "Yeah, my website sucks." I hear that all the time.
They actually sing it to you.
Yes, I've had people sing the jingle to me when I walk in the door. People I've never met before. So it's repetition. It's repetition. Every day they on their way to work. And if you're going to do this, you absolutely want to do morning drive, because that's when people are most open to hearing about their business, hearing new ideas about their business.
Interesting.
Afternoon drive, people are most open to hearing what's for dinner tonight. They're hungry.
Right.
They're out of work mode.
Day. Yeah.
So you want to, if you're out there and you're thinking about doing a radio commercial, morning drive from like 6:30 in the morning till 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And that's the secret to radio commercials.
Awesome.
So I'm doing radio commercials. I'm doing search engine optimization, obviously. Anywhere in my area, if you type in web design, I come up on the top of page 1, if not number 1. We're doing social media marketing. So every day we post something about web design and social media. And then the door-to-door thing. Just if I'm out and about and I just walk in, I'll pick 5 businesses and just walk in and hand out a card and say, "I don't know if your website's bad or good or whatever, but if you need help." and it works. So it's a kind of a conglomeration of a whole bunch of different things kind of fitting together to if I sold 10 websites this week, well, it's usually between 3 and 5. But if I sold 5 websites this week, one will be they found me on Google. 2 of them will say they heard me on the radio. Another one might be somebody I walked in and talked to a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But it's not just one thing. You have to hit it from all sides.
All angles. So what you're saying is that the majority of your sales comes from the radio jingle. Okay, I got it. It makes sense.
Honestly,
I mean, you said it.
Honestly, I'd say a good 75%. I'd say 60 to 75% of the people that call me say they heard the song on the radio.
Wow.
I was at a chamber meeting a couple of weeks. Did I tell you this? I'm at a chamber meeting in Hammond, Louisiana, which is 45 minutes away from here. I know nobody there. And I get up to talk, and somebody said, your website sucks. Yeah. And I look over, and she goes, yeah, I heard you on the radio. I hear it on the radio every morning.
What?
This is 45 minutes away from my market. And everybody there had heard of me already because they heard it on the radio.
And so so how wide are you advertising in this particular market? Like, obviously,
well, the radio station is out of New Orleans, and Hammond is 45 minutes away, and it reaches almost to Hammond, the radio signal.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it reaches so people that maybe drive from Hammond to another city close by or whatever, they hear it on the radio in the morning.
Yeah.
So
that's gotta feel cool.
You and I are going to be doing a lot more business together. And I have clients that ask me from time to time, hey, how much can I get a jingle done for? So we need to talk more about that, about how I can sell your services to my clients.
Absolutely. And vice versa also. Because I'm sure you don't mind at all, but like I offer it as our product offering, and just, straight over to my partner over at Rhino Web. Simple.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah. Let's talk more about that.
Absolutely. So I just want to get one more little tidbit on there. How much would you say, like in comparison, like let's talk about, do you mind talking about how much you spend on the radio ads is in reference to how much you get in return?
All right. So my ad on one radio station in New Orleans is $3,500 a month.
Okay.
All right. And that ad runs, I believe, 3 or 4 times a day. All right. But only Monday through Wednesday. And this is my experience in doing radio ads for the last 4 years. I don't get a lot of calls on Thursday and Friday from people that say they heard me on the radio. It's always Monday through Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it seems to me that people aren't, that's the end of the week, they're thinking about the weekend, and the calls always come Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Most of the calls, let's say, 80, 90% of the calls. So I save money by not running the ads on Thursday and Friday.
Smart. So
I double up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and don't run any ads on Thursday and Friday, and that also works really, really well. So, but I'm spending about $3,500 a month on one station, and the phone rings every day.
Right.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday. Yeah.
I at least sell 1 or 2 websites a week from people that say they heard me on the radio. At least 1 or 2 a week.
Wow, that's huge. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you were asking about so our sites start at 5,000.
Okay.
So I sell one website and it's made a profit.
Right. Exactly. So we're probably at we're at least at 10x at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure. Well over.
I mean, obviously, I went from working from home to owning a 3,000 square foot building in a period of about 5 years.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I mean 10x from your investment with with me.
Oh, way more than that by now.
Oh, okay.
By now, I mean, since the first jingle you made was when? Back in June?
June, August, something like that. Yeah.
July, something like that.
Yeah.
I forget. But then you did the second one. So then the second one kicked in. So it's been a while, and we sell websites weekly. Every week, there's somebody that called that heard us on the radio.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper to do it that way too, because check this out. Before I was doing your song, I was having the radio DJ go, ladies and gentlemen, you need to call our friends Brett Thomas at Rhino Web Studios. He would talk for 60 seconds about why you need a website from Rhino Web, right? And those are called endorsement ads. And those endorsement ads, they work, but they're not cheap. Like they charge like $1,000 a month just to make the ads, on top of the airtime.
Wow.
So it's about $1,000 more a month to have the disc jockey make the ad than if you present it yourself. Say, here's my ad, and just let them run it. So whenever if you remember, whenever I hired you, I was like, it's got to be 60 seconds.
Right.
It's got to be exactly 60 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the reason.
And we got the song and a voiceover portion in that 60 seconds, which was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's funny about the DJ
That's right.
doing the ad is that, to me, when I hear that, it doesn't work on me, because I actually like listen to it less, and it's less credible for me because it's just so obvious that they're being paid to do that, and that it's an endorsement. I'm just like, whatever. Like, but when I hear an actual advertisement, it's just more credible for me, because I'm like, oh, people took the time to create this. And it's just like when I hear the DJ do it, to me, it's just like a cheap plug. That's what it sounds like to me.
Man, it definitely works. And like I was talking about the reticular activating system, I would never have even, if I wasn't focused on my business, I wasn't focused on getting the phone to ring, I never would have reached out to you. I never would have asked you to help me. But it was like magic. You just appeared, and I'm like, hey, I wonder if this guy could help, because you were there. You were the car that I just bought that just showed up. You were always there.
Crazy.
But and I'm so happy that I met you. I'm so happy. What, in just a few months we've had 2 jingles made, and first of the year I'm going to do another one. I'm thinking about, you're going to cringe, man. I'm thinking about doing a country one.
Hey, I'm ready. I want to do a country one. That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
There's a ton of country stations around here. So,
all right.
Southeast Mississippi, and
okay. So let's transition. Let's transition,
Texas.
because this is a good segue, because the third portion of this podcast is music. All right, we talked about money, we talked about marketing. Now we're going to talk about music. And for those listening, I know you guys heard Brett intro the show with a little vocals, and this man can sing. So he's singing the first jingle that we created. It's his vocals on there, and then I'm singing the other one. It's a little more R&B-ish, but you've been making music for a long time, right?
Longer than I've been building websites. Yeah.
Awesome.
I wrote my first song when I was like 15.
Yeah.
I'm 50 now.
Hey. And the vocals are still nice. Listen, let me tell you, Brett, so Brett also, when he said he went to a commerce meeting, I'm not sure if the other one was a commerce meeting necessarily, or a chamber of commerce meeting, but you went to a meeting with other business owners, and everybody had their 1 minute or 90 seconds to pitch their business, and everybody else goes up there. And can I let you tell the story? You tell the story.
Well, that was the one I was talking about. So they introduced me, and somebody started singing the jingle and said, yeah, I hear you on the radio. Sing the jingle for us. And I went,
oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
And I sang the jingle for them. And they were standing up and clapping. They gave me a baseball. They gave me a baseball, and on the baseball it said Best Pitch Award.
Yes.
And they said they've been holding that forever.
Man.
If this isn't deserve this award, then nothing does. So,
because everybody else went up there.
Yeah,
and
that was pretty
John,
fun.
and this is what I do, and we do this and we do that, and you're like, you know, your website sucks, and you steady trying. And you sounded just like the song. You may have sounded better than the song.
You
that
know
day.
your website sucks and you're steady trying to make you a breakthrough.
And
You're not on page 1 of Google. No, you're not even on page 2. Nope.
yeah,
Man,
that's awesome.
Y'all knocked that out of the park when you wrote that.
It came very natural because a part of our process, as you obviously know, but it's to like, well, you came with an idea. You said, I want it to sound a very particular way, and you wanted it to sound like Van Halen. And it's funny because when I told my guys,
right?
when I told my guys that's what the client is requesting, they all got freaked out because we had never made a Van Halen type song ever. Obviously, I've never made one in my life because that's not the type of music I make. And I was just like excited. I was like, I can make anything. I can't wait to do this. This is going to be great. That was my approach. Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I was excited about it. And one of my producers, he was nervous because he's like a purist, and he loves all styles of music, but he grew up making metal music. And so he's like inspired by Van Halen and like everybody. And so he was like, there's no way we could ever come close to that. I'm like, he's not asking us. We're not going to enter a Van Halen competition, right? It's just the
I don't
style.
want Eddie Van Halen solo in the thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all did a great job. It does sound very Van Halen-ish.
Yeah, well, we studied it, and my guitarist was like, "We got to get these little things in there," and he always does this because he knew all the tendencies of the style and stuff, and so it was fun.
The slide, it was perfect.
The slide was crucial.
Right.
The slide was crucial. That was a lot of fun. To do.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm very, very happy that I met you guys. I'm very happy that I was introduced to you. I can honestly 100% say that I sell more websites because of your song than any other advertising that I do.
Wow. That's honestly amazing, Brett. That's
And that's a fact. Well, it's not just your song. I mean, you can make, and here it is, again, take action.
Yeah.
So I could hire Brandon in Combined Habits to write me a beautiful song, and if I just throw it up on social media and don't do anything with it, then it's not going to work.
Right.
You have to be committed. Right? You take this song and put it on the radio. Spend money. Have you ever met a successful business that didn't advertise, that didn't spend money on their business? No. No, because that's what you got to do. So for people out there that are thinking they can just do something easy and not spend any money,
right?
Then it's not going to work. You have to invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
And so that's another message I would say. Like, yeah, if you're going to hire a really good guy, a company like Combined Habits to write a jingle for you, that's half of it.
Right.
The other half is get it out there.
Yeah.
Spend the money and get it out there, and that money will return to you tenfold.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to put it out there for people to hear. Otherwise, how are they going to hear it? your 1,000 followers don't care that much. You got to put it out there, But what's cool about so like you're the first client that we've made 2 jingles for this close together, and I'm working on some others now for some repeat. But what's really cool, and I talked about this in another video, is that if we create like your tagline or like the main part of the song, and yours is Rhino Web Studios, you'll never need another web designer again. And the beautiful thing about music is that when we went to go make the second one, it was literally that simple to transfer that over to the other song, even though the other song is a completely different genre, a completely different sound, a completely different style and instrumentation, yet it is the same exact branding. It's the same exact branding, and it's the same melody, even though it's in a different key, yet it's a totally different song. And so you can take that and we can create infinite amount of songs and music and assets out of that one thing that we started with, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Right. Man, you guys are good. You're really, really good. If there's anybody out there listening that's thinking about doing this or on the fence, don't be silly. Hire Brandon and Combined Habits. Hire these guys. They know what they're doing, and your ad on the radio will be professional. It'll take your business to a whole different level. It did mine.
You the man, Brett. You the man. So I want to come out. So my birthday is in February, just so you know. Is it smart to come to New Orleans in February, or is it the only time to come?
Are you kidding me? February this February is Mardi Gras. It's Mardi Gras time.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because the first thing I think of is obviously I got locals there that's going to take care of me. We're going to handle things right. But like, I just think about like the craziness of like the tourism and because for example, I've been to Brazil many times, and I've been down there for 2 carnivals, and it's like, people say like it's fun, but it's just like over the top. Like there's so many people. There's literally hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, and it's like they say the Brazilians. They told me like, don't come here during Carnival, bro. Like come when there's nobody here. You're gonna have 10 times more.
Well,
fun.
it depends. It depends on what you want. If you want to come party and see titties flopping all over the place, and come in February, right?
All right, I'm coming.
If you want to come and learn about the history of New Orleans and feel the Creole stuff and take some tours, then don't come for Mardi Gras. But I'll tell you this, if you come for Mardi Gras, yeah, I already know you got friends here. You know, you got me, you got, Armando LeDuc, you got probably other people here that I don't even know about. So that's my advice to you. It is crazy and over the top, but if you're going to come down here for Mardi Gras, have people that are local that you're friends with that can steer you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Or even take you on a tour. Take you to the right places. Take you to the right parties. Oh, man, if you come down here, I'll take you to Mom's Ball. Mom's Ball. Look it up.
Okay.
And then look forward to it.
We won't disclose what Mom's Ball is right now, but...
Mom's Ball is only one of the most decadent, hedonistic parties. It's the Saturday before Mardi Gras, and you'll never forget it.
Hedonistic. I have never heard that word, and it sounds ridiculous.
You don't know what hedonistic means?
I mean,
a hedonist is a person.
Imply, yeah.
A hedonist is a person that is all about pleasure. That's it. They just seek out pleasure.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
If it feels good, do it. That's the hedonist, right?
Right. Okay.
So that's what Mom's Ball is about. Mom's Ball.
Okay. We're about to go.
It's
get
definitely not your
hedonistic.
mother's ball.
It's your mom's balls.
You'll see things that you never thought you'd see in public.
That's funny. Cool, man. Well, this was great. I definitely learned a lot from this conversation. I have some amazing takeaways, not only business wise, but self. The visualization and the meditation is something that I have really been thinking about a lot lately, and I wanted to put it into my morning routine. I just haven't been as intentional about it. But after talking to you today, I'm going to be very intentional about incorporating that, because I know that's something.
It's not just the visual; it's the emotion.
And the emotion.
The emotion,
right, absolutely.
So add the emotion to it, and that's the most powerful thing. The prayer works. They got people that say they do witchcraft and they do spells and it works, and prayer works. It does the same thing. It's all the same thing.
Right.
Right. It's
different.
visualizing and feeling the emotion, and you're gonna do great things if you do that.
Absolutely. Well, this was awesome, Brett. I appreciate you, man, and thank you for coming on. Signing off here with Brandon Lewis, Money, Music, and Marketing, baby. All right, Brett. Thank you.
See you later, brother.